Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Redneckanize, the home of the do-it-yourself trucker. When everything goes wrong, you gotta Redneckanize. We'd like to thank one of our supporters, DPF Regeneration. The folks at DPF Regeneration have always looked out for truckers. Today's technology in big trucks has gotten more and more complicated, especially when it comes to those particulate filters. DPF filters need to be serviced, cleaned, and sometimes replaced, and DPF Regeneration handles it all. They have the knowledge, the network, and the inventory to get what truckers need to stay out on the road making money. Give them a holler at 800-634-3010 or check them out at www.webacem.com. Plain and simple, DPF Regeneration.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I might have every hate group in the country after me because I said that. But hey, I've never been one for holding back. I say what I mean what I say. That's the way it is.
Yep.
Prove me wrong. That's what I say. Prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, then you prove me wrong because there's no reason. Don't. I don't want to hear that. Well, it don't pay enough to put two people in the truck. Two drivers in the truck. Well, okay, now we're back there. Well, if it don't pay enough to do it right, then it's too damn cheap to start with.
There you go. That's it.
It's too cheap to start with. If you can't do the job right and do it safe with the right equipment, have the right equipment, the right the stuff to do it, then it's already too cheap. Doing that like something like that ain't no different than condemning a driver because he goes out here and picks up a load that pays $89 or $99 or $1, $5, $10 a mile.
Yeah.
They go and they take the load, they put it on the truck, and then they sit and cry about it for 2 days because this load only pays $1.25 a mile, and fuel is $4 a gallon or $3 a gallon. I don't want to hear it. You knew what fuel was before you accepted the load. You knew how many miles it was before you accepted the load. So don't put it on there and then start crying poor mouth. I don't want to hear it.
Yep. Well, I think
learn to say no.
I think that we've been covering this in past shows and past videos that we put on YouTube about how drivers need to know their worth. They need to know their business, even as owner operators, but even as company drivers, that you need to know your value and you need to understand what you're able to do. If you're a troubled soul that has always gotten into trouble, then you're probably not going to get that awesome job that pays really well. Or if you're a driver that constantly has accidents or violations, or you go from company to company because you don't like the people you're working with, you're probably not going to get that premium rate that you want for rate per mile or hourly pay that you're looking for. It's the employers are always going to be looking at stuff like that. And there was a joke I saw on Facebook about welders where the welder responded to an ad that they were paying $15 to $30 an hour for welders. And so he went down there and they did an interview and they said, okay, weld these two spots here to see how well you do. And he welded one way and he welded one another way. And he welded the first one very poorly and he welded the second one very well. And it looked really, really good. And the employer was like, well, what'd you do that for? And he's like, well, the first one is $15 an hour. The second one is $30 an hour. So you get what you pay for. If you don't want to pay somebody well, then you're not going to get good work. If you don't want to pay good, you're not going to get good. So that's what it boils down to. And as on the other side of it, to us, to the drivers, like you said, we're our own worst enemy. If you don't do good, you're not going to get paid good. And so you've got to.
Well, that's what's going on now.
Yeah, if you're gonna work half-ass, they're gonna pay you half-ass. And it's all it boils down to.
Exactly.
So I always tell people all the time. In fact, one of the past shows I did, I talked about it that your CDL is your gold card. If you have a good CDL with no any kind of like black eyes on it at all, then you can write your own ticket because those companies out there, that's what they want. They love it when they see a person, they pull up their CDL report and it basically has nothing for the last 5 or 10 years. They love that, I mean, and I'm like, say,
I tell you what, there was a time when I was, and I got proof of it. You can ask anybody that knew me when I was younger, man. I had my face was everyone there. They was damn near but a milk carton, buddy. I mean, they was ready. I was almost on America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, I had 4 tickets. I was making 2 points of having my license suspended because I had the attitude. I was young, and I thought, the Sky's the limit. They tell me to load and go. Where you going? When you want it there. Well, you got to have it there a certain time, and I did. It didn't matter, I wasn't buying the fuel, wasn't my truck, I didn't have a thing invested in it. And I sat right on the edge of the seat with my nose in the windshield and my foot flat on the floor everywhere I went. And every time I turned around, there was lights behind me, and I was sitting there getting the driving award. And it got to the point where one more ticket, and I'm out of business for a year. I said, wait a minute, it's time to do something.
Right.
Well, then when I quit driving a company truck, and I got my own trucks, and I've had it for a long time. And once I started putting the fuel nozzle in the tanks and started doing the maintenance on it, started having to pay for all the repairs, I got to thinking, yeah, this ain't a good deal here. You need to learn to slow down, learn to start watching your fuel, learn to start watching your expenses, get your driving record cleaned up. Now, my driving record right now, I have no CSA points, I have no speed, I have no violations, no accidents, no nothing. So the one that wants to run their mouth and tell me about how bad paper logs are compared to e-logs, there was a point in time when everybody was on paper logs. So that being said, Ed, I'm going to jump off of here. Good show you're having tonight. You're throwing a lot out there. Hopefully I didn't run all your callers off, making them mad, but see if anybody else calls in.
You never know.
And if they've got anything to add, they can. So we'll see what happens.
Sounds good, bud. Hey, man, appreciate you calling in, and be safe out there.
All right, Ed. We'll talk to you later.
All right, now.
Be careful. Be safe.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye. All right, awesome. That was Greg, one of the co-founders of Redneckanize, and he's been at it a long time, and we always enjoy his opinion because he's definitely been around the block a few times and has seen a lot of things, done a lot of things. So it's always great to get his input. So we're going to step away and take a little break right here.